Hello everybody and welcome. You might notice a slight change of venue today. I needed more space than I usually do. This is not, you work big when you work Gyotaku. All right everyone, so let's talk about the materials that I have in front of me right now. Okay, so I know it's a lot of different papers. They're all different, I promise. So I have a piece of palette paper. I have black paint and a wide paintbrush. All right, this is the paper that I'm printing on. It's a white drawing paper. This is a piece of newsprint where I will kind of stage and set up my fish. And then these are the fish and a shell. All right, so guys, a word about these fish. These are made out of rubber. While they have been very good, this is the, let me think, fourth year that we have used these fish. They are still delicate. So please be careful when you are handling them, especially thinner areas of the fins. These are not toys. We are not playing with them. We are treating them as they are, which is a material used for creating art. Okay, so I have selected these three fish, and this is how I'm thinking of setting up my paper. It's really good to think of this ahead of time so you don't have any like accidents, or you're not like desperately trying to, how did I have this before? I think it was like this. So you're not trying to desperately like crush everything in. All right, so I'm gonna move this up for a second. So this is kind of what I'm going for. So that will help me when I am setting up my prints. Okay, so I'm gonna move these two off to the side just so I have some room. I'm going to start with the shell. So in order to print, we're going to do black paint, and we are using paint instead of ink. The paint is thinner. I have tried Gyotaku here with both and a variety of different materials, but this is what allowed for the most successful prints. Okay, so you're gonna take your wide brush and you want the coat of paint to be relatively thin. So nothing too crazy. And then we are going to coat the entire fish or shell or seahorse, whatever it is that you're doing. You want to coat the entire thing in a thin layer of paint. And here's the thing, guys, you have to work quickly. This tempera paint, as we know, it can dry pretty quickly when it's put on thinly. So if you finish brushing over your fish or your shell or whatever, and this paint is no longer shiny, you need to go back over it. If it becomes matte, you have to go over it. Okay, so now that that is covered, I am moving this where I know I wanted it to be on my paper. So I apologize if you can't quite see. Let's scoot that up a little bit. Okay, there we go. And then I have my printing paper. Now, the reason why we have this piece of newsprint is to help us fit everything, but also to make sure if you line up the corners of your paper over the corners of your newsprint, it will ensure that you are printing everything where you want it to be. So I'm going to do that, lay it gently on top. Okay, it's just sitting there for now. Now I'm gonna take my hands, open palms, and we're gonna press down gently. And I am carefully rubbing the ink from the shell onto the paper. Guys, your paper might wrinkle a little bit. That is okay. This is not the end of the world. It can flatten back out again. You can see, hopefully, I know I can, and you'll see when you're doing it in person, that there is a slight imprint of the shell from the paint onto this paper. Take a peek if you want to. Make sure it's coming off. It is. I'm going to peel off all the way. Voila. We have a shell. All right, so I'm going to scoot that off to the side. Why is the shell so sticky on the bottom? All right, there we go. So now that that one is out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do a second one. Again, it's good to see this and just have some practice in. So I'm going to grab the larger of the two fish that I decided to do. Again, I'm gonna lay it on the palette paper. That's the best place to do it. If you see, when I had the shell down here, I got some paint on the palette paper. So please don't brush your paint onto this paper. That extra paint is gonna show up on your paper then. Okay, so again, thin layer. Coat the whole thing. You even do wanna get the sides a little bit because as you can probably see, the paper forms to it the whole way around, and you want to be able to get some more of those details. All right, again, make sure that the paint is shiny. If it's not anymore, it dried and you need to go back over it. All right, so I had this fish situated, if I'm remembering correctly, it was up here. All right, so same thing, gonna flip it over, gonna line those edges up. Let me push this up so everyone can see. There we go. All right, let it fall. Okay, then again, open palms. Go ahead and push it down. All right, and then rub over some of the details. Really get in there to get those fins. You don't want to be missing those details. The shell was a little bit easier because there is not as many differences in like high and low parts. This one does. You have to really push down if you want to get those details in there. Again, the paper's gonna wrinkle, guys. That's just how it happens. It'll flatten out. That's not your fault. Take a peek, make sure it's showing up. It is. Okay, not too bad. So again, you wanna make sure that you're not putting so much paint on here that you lose detail. That's why you want to keep the paint in a thin layer. All right, I'm gonna move this fish. I'm gonna grab my last fish, the little guy. So this one is going to be going about down here. All right, so I'm gonna lay this down. One more. Okay, paint has still stayed shiny. I can still see the textures that are on here. So I'm gonna go ahead, pull this fish up. Oh, go me. All right, so this one, I might have a little bit of overlap. That's okay. This paper is smaller. Not a big deal. But I think we might be good. Okay, I'm gonna drop it down. Open palms. I'm probably gonna get some paint on the back. Oh, sorry guys. There we go. All right, open palms. Push it down. Press the details. Again, get the fins, get the tail. Get all of those little parts that maybe aren't popping up quite as much as the body. Take a peek. Did we get it? We're grabbing it. There we go. Actually, that came out better than I thought it would. All right, so everyone, when you reach this point, you want to fill your paper, but you don't want to pack it. You want to have some open space in there. That's really important. So when you reach this point, we're going to put them on the drying rack and let them dry. And then we're going to catch up next time on how to add color into your prints. Great job, everybody.